Been on 2 stalks already. Probably already seen 7 or 8 moose. This was a very special hunt for me. Not only my first moose hunt, but my first out-of-country hunt. Beesaw's Log Cabin Outfitters is who I went with. I hunted with the owner's brother. His name was Jackie Beesaw. So when I arrived, first thing I did is get the bow out and do a little bit of shooting. Make sure that the bow made the travel safely. Thankfully, I was shooting really good. However, it was very windy, and they said that wasn't normal, but they were having weather shifts the whole week I was there, and it was windy more often than it wasn't. Get there on a Sunday, and then on Sunday we're pretty much just chilling, getting to know each other, getting a good meal in. Monday morning is when the hunting really begins. This is our camp. This is the main lodge. Back there, that's a guide's lodge, and then the big building is where the outfitter stays. And there's, on the other side of the lodge, we got some more hunter and guide cabins, as well as everybody's trucks. And then I'm in the building in the back corner there where my truck's at. There's 2 bedrooms in there. Currently the only hunter, because it's archery season only here. Right, so we're here at my cabin. Open the door. Got 2 different rooms, place to put our boots and shoes. And then we have the room where I'm staying. Has enough space for 2. It's just me here this week. Nice little room with a restroom. It's got its own shower and toilet and running water and everything. So I'm living in style this week. But yeah. Monday morning, we get up maybe an hour before the sun comes up, and we need to be on the 4-wheelers and off. So the camp is technically a privately owned location, but from there's, within 30 minutes access to a lot of crown land, which is where they outfit on. Get in the side-by-sides and make our way to the crown land, and within 30 seconds of the sun coming up, we're into moose. It's hard to see in the video, but the moose is kind of over this little hill in front of me, and we're kind of trying to sneak our way down and get within shooting distance of him. The plan was to take most of the morning and work our way towards this moose. The moose kind of started working away from us, so Pius did a little bit of calling, trying to see if we could get the moose to hold up and or distracted enough while we got closer. We probably spent a good 2 hours working on this moose with no luck, so we moved on, got in the buggy and took off down the road. We got down the road a ways, and off the side of the road we saw a massive moose. So I jumped off the buggy and went to make a move at it. Had to have only been like 90 to 100 yards off of the road, but kind of worked my way up to it. Having it be that close to the road, it made it very difficult to stalk it, and it took off before we could get there. From there, we hunted basically until lunchtime, and the plan was to go back to camp, get some food, rest, and then go out for the evening hunt. On the way back, we saw a couple moose up on a hill, and both good bulls, and we made a decision that we were going to try to get after them.
Right there in the woods. Right straight in the woods.
Once we made the decision to go after these 2 bulls, we kind of got the buggy staged and made our way up towards where they were on this kind of peninsula of trees, but by the time we got up there, they were kind of already in the trees. We repositioned a couple times and couldn't get a shot on these moose, and eventually they just kind of worked their way off. Been on 2 stalks already, neither of which turned into anything, but probably already seen 7 or 8 moose. We had seen probably 7 or 8 moose in the morning. Not all of them were stalkable, but we saw so many that we thought, let's go find some moose, figure out where they're at, and make a game plan for the next morning. We didn't really stalk any animals, but went to a glassing point and glassed several bulls that evening, and then headed back to camp so we could make a game plan for Tuesday. Tuesday, based on how many bulls we saw on Monday and how many of them were in a killable spot, we really anticipated that Tuesday was going to be the day. So left with very high hopes. We made it all the way back to about 100 yards from where we did our first stalk and saw what we believe is the same moose we stalked first thing on Monday. This time, he was a little bit further off the road, so we made a very long play at him. Ended up spending most of our morning chasing him, and ultimately he was just kind of working away from us the whole time, and we could not get caught up. Same thing as the day before. We got out of there, went back to camp, got lunch, and then pretty much got skunked in the evening. You know, it's only 2 days in, so we still have 3 days to go. Although our hopes have been reduced, we still had plenty of time to get it done. Wednesday morning, we made the same game plan. We were going to work our way all the way to the back of this crown land, and once we got to the back, we were going to spot moose and make moves on them based on that. Moose that were kind of killable within, you know, a couple hundred yards of a road or some sort of access. There's so many moose, you know, we on the first day, we still saw some moose on the second day, but not nearly as many. We really thought, you know, Wednesday, this is going to be the ticket. And this was the first time we basically saw no moose most of the day. We did walk around a little bit in the morning, and then in the evening, we tried to get to a vantage point and basically got skunked on Wednesday. So we kind of started with our hopes up here, and throughout the week they're kind of starting to drop. So head back to camp, and while we're eating dinner, Jackie lets me know be prepared to do some walking tomorrow. Thursday morning, we did a small death hike. We worked our way to some areas where there was very little access by road, only snowmobile trails, and there being that there was no snow. Our hope was that these were some unpressured areas and that there had been no bow hunting back in these areas. We walked through several areas that had a lot of sign and even had like the smell of animals, but did not have any luck on our walkabouts. So went back to camp, got lunch, and now the pressure kind of kicked in. All right, we just got done with the morning hunt on Thursday. We got an evening hunt and a morning hunt for sure left, and then potentially an evening hunt tomorrow on Friday, but I do have to get up to the ferry at like 11 o'clock. It's a 2-hour drive from here, and I got to be there 2 hours early, so there's a good chance we don't do a Friday evening hunt just because I got to get out of town. But we got 2 more hunts left, and we're seeing moose every time. It's just a matter of getting close enough to one to actually put a shot on it. So we're still after it. We're not giving up hope. We got 2 more hunts. Yeah. Thursday afternoon, I decided to leave the camera back at camp and really focus on getting a moose. And naturally, after a couple stalks in the evening, was able to connect with a moose with about 10 minutes left of daylight. Although I didn't get it on camera, Jackie was there, and he had stayed on the road and was keeping eyes on the moose while I made my stalk. And he was able to watch the impact and told me that he thought it was a good impact and that we would likely have good success finding the moose. So the decision was, let's make our way back to the buggy and then call for some backup to go track this moose. About an hour later, Pius, the owner of Bisaw's Log Cabin Outfitters, and his other brother and guide came and joined me and Jackie, and we started looking after the moose. The broadhead I ultimately used to shoot my moose was this Grim Reaper Micro Hades Pro. We were having a hard time finding blood. Even once we found blood, it wasn't super consistent, and the territory where we were at, as you've seen through the video so far, is very thick, and it's probably 3-year cutover, so there's a lot of foliage starting, and a lot of places where something could, bed up and die, and you might never find it. So we took our time looking for blood, and ultimately after about 4 hours of looking, we decided the best move was to return to camp and try again in the morning. If it was still alive, we didn't want to push the moose because the insight that I got from Pius and Jackie was that moose, once pushed, don't really stop until they die, and they can cover some serious ground because of their stride and how big they are. So Reluctantly, we decided to back out and go the next day. All right, while we're waiting, I just wanted to come out and do some shooting, and went out to 60 yards, shot one arrow. My bow's back there on the ground. I don't have the little stands on it because they get broken. 60 yards. It's a little unfortunate that this is right in the middle because that means everything else is on me. So here's my 60-yard shot. I'm not even gonna cut the video, just have it just like that so you can potentially believe me. If you don't believe me, I kind of get it. All right, got my moose down, shot it last night. We tracked it for a little while. I turned the camera off because I was getting super stressed out. Didn't find it right away. This morning went back, found it. Unfortunately, it was all bloated up. We cut into it and basically it burst. I think I got back of the lung, liver, and guts just based on the way it was quartering, and it was rank, which is really quite a bummer. Spent most of the night last night praying, stressing, looking at pictures and videos of bulls, trying to make sure I hit it in a good spot. Got into 62 yards and shot them. We could see the lighted knock, but whenever it went over the hill and died, it kind of fell over on the lighted knock. So we were about 100 yards from it last night when we quit, backed out, went back in this morning. Probably slept 30 minutes last night, just stressing, praying. And then this morning we found it, but no meat, which is really unfortunate. Part of hunting, I guess, but really excited that we got one. You know, basically we had last night, and then this morning we could have hunted, and then I have to pack up this afternoon because I got to get on a ferry kind of early in the morning. So I'm super blessed that it happened, but of course the goal was to harvest the whole animal, so a little bit upset about that. In addition to swamp dogs, I do want to say a special thank you to Pius Besaw and his crew at Besaw's Log Cabin Outfitters. The camp was phenomenal, some of the best food I've had at camp, and we had some great discussions around faith and hunting, and it was just an absolute pleasure to spend a week up there. Certainly something I'll try to do again, and perhaps do more justice to the animal if I have the opportunity to hunt with Pius and his group again.